Well, welcome to the Unstoppable Freedom Podcast. I'm Jimmy Page. This is the format called Freedom Under Fire. The top 3 headlines you need to know about. Each Freedom Under Fire segment does 3 things. Number 1, it keeps you on top of the most important issues affecting your freedoms today. Number 2, it lets you know why it matters. And number 3, it tells you what you can do about it. So here we go. Here are the top 3 headlines for March 17th, 2023. Headline number 1, girls basketball team banned from competing after forfeiting to team with trans player. So what's happening? Well, a Vermont high school called Mid-Vermont Christian School recently refused to play Long Trail in a February 21st Division IV playoff basketball game because the school believed that playing a team with a biological male, quote, jeopardizes the fairness of the game and the safety of the players, end quote. Now, the Christian school has now been banned from participating in state athletics entirely after their girls hoops team forfeited this playoff game. Why does this matter? Well, first, it matters because this is one of the first, if not the first time, a school has refused to compete in protest of the unfair and unsafe competition caused by allowing biological males to compete against females. I love the quote from the head of school. Head of school Vicky Fogg said, allowing biological males to participate in women's sports sets a bad precedent for the future of women's sports in general. And we agree. And if we remain silent, sports for girls and women will be destroyed. It's happening before our very eyes. Okay, headline number 2. Deal with it. Trans runner propels Massachusetts high school girls track team to state championship. So what's happening? A Massachusetts high school track team beat out all competition recently, winning the girls' state track and field championships with the help of a transgender athlete, an 11th grade biological male named Chloe Barnes. His message to the girls that he beat who might have a problem with it, quote, deal with it. Just deal with it, end quote. Well, why does this matter? First, girls and women all across the country are being beaten by, having records shattered by, and losing opportunities to compete at higher levels because of biological men being allowed to compete against them in women's sports. According to Duke's Center for Sports Law and Policy, there's an average 10 to 12% performance gap between elite males and elite females in sport. Every single indicator that affects athletic performance, strength, speed, endurance, favors biological men. The advantage in competitive sports is undeniable. Okay, headline number 3. Gaslit into silence. Swimmer Riley Gaines explains why she spoke out against Leah Thomas and trans athletes. So what's happening? Although this is not a headline from today, it is perhaps the most high-profile example of the damage being done to female sports. Riley Gaines, a 12-time NCAA All-America swimmer for the University of Kentucky, swam against and tied Leah Thomas, a transgender female, in other words, biological male, for 5th place in the NCAA championships in the 200 freestyle last year. She, like so many others, has been terrified to speak up for women's rights because of the gaslighting that occurs to anyone who dares to stand up against unfair competition. But she is now fearlessly standing up and speaking out to protect girls and women in sports. Why does this matter? Well, it matters that high-profile female athletes speak up against this because women are being erased in every single facet of society, not just sports. The very definition of what a woman is has been changed and is now essentially meaningless. Little girls and full-grown biological women are now having to share bathrooms, locker rooms, and other spaces with biological men, and it puts them in a highly uncomfortable and unsafe situation. If she and millions more don't speak out against this infringement on women's rights, it will destroy every protection that women have fought for and achieved over the last 70 years. So those are 3 really big headlines. So what can we do about it? Well, the most important thing you can do is be courageous and vocal in your defense of women and girls. Be prepared to have conversations openly and courageously. And if you have a daughter or a sister who is being forced to compete against a biological male, Make your case to the school administrators, make your case to the school board, the coaches, and the media if necessary. And if it's still allowed, you will have a decision to make whether or not to let your daughter continue to compete against biological males. And also, if you're a coach and you encounter this unfair and unsafe competition, which is exactly what this is, be courageous and pull your kids from the competition and protest with the league or the association. This is going to take tremendous courage, but we need people of moral courage to stand up, and now's the time. Schools, parents, and coaches must stand up for the rights of their daughters and their sisters. Well, listen, freedom is under fire every day, and now is the time to stand up and protect our liberties wherever they're under attack. I'm Jimmy Page, and this is the Unstoppable Freedom Alliance podcast.